Joining us now, Florida Congresswoman Maria Salazar. Congresswoman, it's great to see you. So what do you make of this? Democrats are getting U.S. taxpayers to fund rich people on Obamacare. So where are Bernie Sanders and AOC on this?
Listen, Liz, this has nothing to do with Obamacare. This has to do with politics and with Marxism, unfortunately, because if the Dems were so concerned about Obamacare, then the government were to be open. We would be sitting at the table and negotiating those tax subsidies, which I am very much in favor of, providing whatever need those people need. But you got to be sitting at the table. This has nothing to do with Obamacare. This has to do with Schumer's political future. And that is what people need to remember. This has nothing to do with Obamacare.
Well, it does sound like it. I mean, I hear you, but Democrats twice blew the door opens on Obamacare during the pandemic. They expanded Obamacare in 2021 and in 2022. So now even high-income earners, including millionaires, can qualify for tax credits if their insurance premiums exceed about 8.5% of their income. Listen to this. Now more than 2 million taxpayers who make above that Obamacare original income cap get taxpayer-subsidized Obamacare. That's based on Treasury Department data. There's a total of 3.6 million people above that original income cap in the Obamacare marketplace above it. So those are rich people on Obamacare. It is about Obamacare. I hear what you're saying. It's about the politics of it, but there's a lot of waste and fraud in here. That's a big problem.
And that is why we need to go back to work, and we need to reopen the government so we can sit down, Republicans and Democrats, and negotiate and clean the fraud, waste, and abuse. But that's not what the Dems are doing. They maybe say everything they want to. It's costing us $1.5 billion a week, costing the American people. So why are we here? Because they have nothing else to do, because they have seen that President Trump is winning on every single sector, foreign policy, internal policy, on the tariffs. So I understand that you want to be talking about Obamacare. I'm talking about the bigger picture. Remember that in every single history indicates that every time there is a political organization that has a radical left, the radical left will eat up alive the center. And that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I get it. But
and that's it.
This is also about reopening the government. Well, it's about reopening the government and sitting down and fixing the system. So that's what Republicans like you were trying to do. And you're dealing with a Democrat Party we've never seen before, the likes of which you've never seen like this in the history of the U.S. Congresswoman Salazar, thanks for being with us. Interesting conversation.